Today's video, I'm going to answer some questions about the pass-through, what we did from our habitat into the truck. So a couple things we did when we built this pass-through was we left no space in the habitat. We weren't sure how close to the cab we needed to be. So I was able to actually put the cab in and the box and figure out my distance, and we built a plywood filler for 90% of it. And then we bought this expandable accordion gasketing offline, and this will go down about as small as 3.5 inches and open to about 12. So I shot for somewhere in the middle, so it had flexibility as we were moving. So with this gasket, you have to have a hole that's the same size in both units. So the gasket, one isn't getting longer than the other. A little bit of a challenge because the cab over here has corrugation in its metal for structural purposes. Let me show you. You can see here, this goes in and out. This is about a half inch inset right here. If I got the hole the same size in the truck as I did down here, it wouldn't actually be the same size because it would have farther to go in and out of all those little ridges. So what I did is I took a piece of string. I cut the hole in the truck first, and I took a piece of string and I actually ran it along the edge all the way around. And then I measured that piece and I laid it out to match accordingly with the pass-through section. So this is removable. This is just aluminum, about an 1/8 inch thick. It goes all the way around. And one thing I did with my pass-through is I put a skylight on top of it, so it lets lots of light down inside, kind of down into Catherine's feet in here in the kitchen. Sort of a neat feature. So one thing I had to consider was the truck is on an air ride system, so the holes aren't always going to match up. Most of the time when we are passing through here is when the truck is running and full of air. So they're equal when we're driving, but when we're stopped, the cab will slide down a little bit. So this sort of has a drop in the gasket. So this gasket will stretch quite a bit, but it also has to go up and down and back and forth. So you want to make sure whatever you do for your cab, you kind of compensate for how much movement you have. How this gasket actually works is it has in here a horseshoe-shaped piece of metal with little tiny notches on it on both sides. It goes on like this, and then it just kind of grabs. Those little teeth grab inside there. I don't know if you can see that or not. You want to have this piece thick enough, at least 1/8 of an inch. The metal on the cab is not very thick, and it wasn't thick enough for this to grab very tight. So what I did, because it was a sharp edge anyway, I took either a Vicor, which is a rubberized tape, kind of thick, and I used Dynamat also, and I just did a little strip all the way around the opening, and I stuck this on there. And once it's on there, it's permanent. So I actually leave the Dynamat side on, which is on the cab up here. Whenever I lift the cab, that just stays. And the only one we pop off is this one right here. So I'll just show you how easy this goes on. This is a leftover piece. You want to have about a 2.5 inch radius. It's a real nice radius for this, this metal to bend. You know, it just goes on just like that, all the way down. I will say though that occasionally you'll get some fir needles and limbs off of trees that'll fall on top of this, so when you open it up you got to be careful you don't dump it inside. So this side is the one I leave on all the time. So in here is about 3.5 inches. So this goes right on just like that. It's kind of a rewarding feel when it clips on there. You can see here how this is all crinkled because when the cab goes up, then it straightens out again. You can see where the little metal teeth dig in, kind of scratch the paint, but they hold pretty good. I hope that answers some of the questions on how we were able to waterproof and make this transition between the habitat and the truck. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.